Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Creativity Broadcast. I'm your host, Laura, and I'm here to do another collective creativity reading for us today. And remember, these readings are always in service of your own intuition, so make sure to funnel them through and see what resonates for you. These are intended to be of support to those of us who are very creative, who identify as creative, who might be up to moving our creative projects forward or our creative dreams forward. And those of us who just really want to deepen our relationship with our creative spirit. All right, so let's go ahead and just settle in for a moment. Just taking a deep breath. I'm just getting this image of two hands kind of like stitching together. So let's go ahead and start for kind of like the overarching message of this collective creativity reading. We're going to start with the Sacred Destiny Oracle today. Sacred Destiny Oracle. All right, let's see. Hope everybody's doing well. I took a week off from the channel because two exciting events. One, I threw a surprise party for my husband for his 40th birthday. It was about a month early, so he really didn't see it coming. It was great. And then at the end of the same week was my actual birthday, and it was just the best. My mom was visiting. My husband got me the prettiest cake I've ever seen. It's just a good, very nice, lovely way to spend my Lionsgate B-Day. I think some of you in this collective have also been away. Jess, I'm thinking about you. I want to know how your trip was. I love hearing from you all in the comments about like what you're up to and what resonates from these readings, so please don't be shy. Okay, Sacred Destiny Oracle. Overarching message. It's over here. Okay. This one. What is it? Openness. Oh. Wow. I'm saying wow because, first of all, how beautiful is this? But secondly, on my birthday, which I believe I was just telling you all about, I pulled from Sacred Destiny Oracle, and this was the card that I got, Openness. So, how lovely. We're seeing the full moon. We did actually just have a full moon over the weekend, full moon in Aquarius. And as you can kind of see, the moon is also surrounded by all of these constellations. So, let's take a moment and see what exactly this message is for us today. It's pretty cool. It's kind of wild to get the same card. If you ever, if you read and that happens to you, you know it's like pretty interesting. Okay. Openness. Secrets of the moon. The cycles of the moon affect every aspect of our life. The cyclical magnetic pull regulates the tides as it acts on our planet's waters. The moon even affects the monthly cycles of women. It's not an accident that a woman's cycle and the cycle of the moon are approximately the same amount of time. In native cultures, when women lived in nature, it was not uncommon for them to menstruate during the new moon and ovulate around the full moon. It was believed that menstruation was the time that a woman had to be still, put her everyday labors aside, and renew. For all people, the dark of the moon was a time to incubate ideas, watch nocturnal dreams for signs, and be still. In modern life, we as a culture don't honor these natural cycles often enough, and as a result, our lives are usually bereft of this important time of rejuvenation. The sacred landscape wants you to know, when you receive this card, be open to receiving signs. Be still. Do nothing. Be open. Breathe. Relax completely and thoroughly. incubate your dreams for the future. If you're trying to make a decision, take the time to watch for signs and listen to the whispers of the universe. Watch your dreams for messages regarding the situation. Become the sacred watcher. Observe life as it unfolds rather than becoming engaged in it. Be open to what the universe has in store for you. Be receptive to messages from your soul. This card can also be the bringer of sacred wonders into your life. Miracles can show up in ways you didn't expect. Openness. That's so beautiful. And what an amazing message to receive. We're kind of at the peak of summer right now. Like, as I'm recording this, it's the second week of August. And this is the time where I think a lot of the outside world is giving us these kind of hurry it up messages of like, it's August, the summer's going to end soon, harvest time, pull everything together. Or you might be like chasing the sun, like getting in one last vacation or something. Like, I think in August, we sort of get bombarded with this feeling of like, oh God, the summer is going away soon, even though given, the way the environment is these days, we usually have warm temperatures, depending on where you live, for a lot longer than we used to. But we do often have this feeling of like, oh gosh, the sun's going away. And actually, it already has started to shift because we had the summer solstice in June. So, we're already kind of like tilting away from the earth and the light is changing. And it's sort of like welcoming in the very beginnings of autumn, but it's still summertime. And I think the other thing that I find very beautiful about this is that in summertime, we're kind of on the receiving end of so much solar energy, and it can feel very like crispy and sometimes can feel kind of oppressive. And it's hard sometimes to rest because we're getting so much energy from the sun and the heat, and like the vibrancy of the colors outside. Like, it can be kind of intense, especially for those of us who are particularly sensitive. And so this is a really wonderful reminder that even in seasons where we feel the need to go, we actually can and should slow down. This thing about the moon cycle and the new moon, like the dark of the moon, being a time to really rest and relax, related to the menstrual cycle, I think is really cool because it's reminding us that, like, especially, if you're watching this and you have a menstrual cycle, I think that when I started getting more interested in understanding the phases of the menstrual cycle, there are 4, not 2, there's 4. And like how they affect our body and our hormones and our emotions and our energy levels. It's been so illuminating for my creativity too, because I realized that there are cycles and steps to my creativity. I can't expect my body to perform the same every day like a man's body might. I also can't expect my creative energy to perform exactly the same every day. So kind of getting to know that. And actually, if that is interesting to you, I have in my Spark class, which I think is linked below, it's a course you can do in under an hour, and it actually helps you chart different aspects of your creative process. So if you're interested in that, check it out. It's a pretty cool tool, so you don't feel quite so like at the whim of your projects. You can kind of get ahead of your cycles. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to say about this is I think most women that I know have a personal relationship with the moon that we can't explain. And it's something we've always been interested in for most of our lives. I know when I was younger, part of what I found exciting about the moon was that it changed, but also that it was this sort of like nighttime companion, like when you're up and you're like listening to music and you're looking out the window and you're by yourself and you're just sort of like having this, there's like this nocturnal version of you that is often solitary. That's like part of what's beautiful and creative about it, is that it's very personal and it's very private. And yet we have this beautiful companion in the sky. And she's always around, even if you can't see her. And yeah, I just, I really appreciate that the message of this card, which is like being open and being willing to receive messages, support, being willing to receive rest and actually let rest do the work for you. You know, the moon is orbiting the earth. She is actually consistent, but the amount of light that she reflects is the thing that changes. And we can be the same, you know? It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Wow. If any of that resonated with you, I want to hear about like which parts. I've never thought about the moon as the nighttime companion, and yet I have. Actually, let's roll with the moon energy. We're going to go straight into Moonology Oracle for just some more like clarification of this message, like exactly what should we be thinking about. One of my favorite musical artists, Gregory Alan Isakov, one of the first songs I ever heard by him, which I think is kind of perfect and beautiful. I heard his music for the first time when I was a college student, putting on some kind of like quiet folk Pandora station while I was working on, usually I was up. The kind of stuff I would do late at night in college would be kind of probably for poetry class. That seems right. Being up, like reading poetry and writing it and, you know, staring at the moon. And I remember hearing on Pandora this song by Gregory Alan Isakov. It's called That Moon Song. And it's just so beautiful. Some of the lyrics, that full-bellied moon, she's shining on me. She pulls on this heart like she pulls on the sea. Came on strong like a running wave. Your beauty left me broke and hungry. Left me begging to the birds for a bone or an offering. Left me saying nothing like I always say. Always gets me. So beautiful. That album, one of my favorites, probably like my favorite album of all time. It's called This Empty Northern Hemisphere. And that song is also on the album, and it's so cool. There's this line in it. While you were sleeping, I was turning the dials and walled up your kingdom with radio wires. It's just, again, that I feel like the thing I connect to in it the most is this feeling that there's almost like this nocturnal self that is creative and introspective and filled with wonder and just like being receptive to the world of the night. And it's different than the daytime self, and it's beautiful to me. All right, let's see. Come on, card. Come on. Oh, we got two of you? Wow. Okay, so this first one, meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. I feel like that's literally what I was just doing. Thinking about that song is making me really weepy. Perfect for new moon in Pisces. But then we also got this other one that was just like asking to come out. A fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. All right, so let's let's be with these for a second. These are like distinctly different energies, and yet they're not. So with the new moon in Pisces, we have the dark of the moon, and the contemplation, the water element here. I'm literally crying salty water tears as I'm talking to you all about this. But then we also have this other energy of a fiery climax. New full moon in Aries, it's like could not be more opposite. But the thing that has them connected is that first card, openness, of allowing our quiet receptivity to be the thing that actually catalyzes new results. They feel like they're opposite, but they're not. All right, let's read about them. New moon in Pisces. I can't believe I'm crying all over you all. I've been thinking about those Greg Rale and Isaacoff songs because at my show we covered one of my other favorite songs by him, Liars, and I freaking love where we ended with that arrangement, and I can't wait to post it because I'm so proud of it. Even though I didn't use the microphone super well, but so the recording isn't the best, but I love how it turned out. And as we're kind of thinking about like what new material we're going to work on as a band, I was like thinking about it. I was like, oh, I'd really love to cover this Empty Northern Hemisphere. I have to change the key, but that is a song that fills me with such emotion. And it's very like, it's just like a lot of his music where you sort of feel this sense of beauty and also longing. And like this relationship with the night sky and just feeling so little, but also part of it really makes me emotional. Okay, let's see. Meditate and contemplate new moon in Pisces. This card speaks of dreams and romance, of soulmates and poetry. It suggests there's a new start coming your way that's connected to a matter that leaves you feeling somewhere between having your head in the clouds and being in a totally altered state. There could be confusion and disappointment if that's what you've had before and that's what you're expecting. However, if you're onto a good thing, then wish hard because the words of your soul and your heart could help bring about the manifestation of your dreams. If all of that sounds a little wet and watery, then that's Pisces for you. This is the last sign of the zodiac, and the new moon in Pisces card can suggest a last-ditch chance to make your dreams come true. Wow. Pisces is the sign of reveries and mysteries, or depths of emotion, idealism, and hopeless romantics. It is the sign of water and the unconscious. Its energy is deep, like watery depths. The new moon in Pisces indicates a time to listen to your feelings and to allow your emotions free rein. Whatever you're feeling as you pull this card is more likely than the truth. Whatever you're feeling as you pull this card is more likely than the truth, unless you've been kidding yourself somehow, and only you know if that's the case or not. Wow. You know, it's interesting. Yesterday when I was out at the lake that used to be scary, I started chatting with a woman there who's also named Laura. And she's also an ontology person and a coach, but she's like a generation ahead of me. So she's been in, swimming in ontological waters more than twice as long as me. And it was like a very cool surprise. And one of the things that we were talking about is that like some training environments when it comes to personal development, especially like the first couple of waves of them, like in like the 70s through the 90s, they kind of had this bend toward sort of trying to use personal development to bypass having emotions, so like overly logic yourself into new results. And it's funny because that's like what I was thinking about as I was reading that was like, there are actually a lot of times when our emotions, instead of being pesky or something to be like logicked over or like logic ourselves through, sometimes in times like this, our emotions are often the thing that actually reveals what is needed in order to move to the next stage. It's almost like, this is silly, but it's almost like our emotions. So imagine we're crying tears out, and the tears actually become a mirror through which we can see what we actually need to see. And so I think this is a really cool invitation to just look at like, oh, what are the things that are actually asking to be felt right now? And how are they clues? But like I said, I used the word longing when I was talking about that song. And I think that this card is also asking us to just be more honest about, okay, if someone, I'm giving it to you right now, if someone gave you full permission to kind of have a last ditch run at a dream that you'd like to come true, or an outcome that you'd like to see, or like your heart's desire, like something that you're really longing for, what would that thing be? And what's your last ditch effort right now? You actually get to be silly about it. That's really what it's calling for. Oh, man. Okay, let's read about this other one now. Okay. Okay, full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. It's time to see if you've been a little bit too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast or overstepped, then accept that on some level you've created the situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming, and it could be fiery. Be nice, be kind, smile and polite as you navigate to where you want to be. You need to have more fun. Don't be a baby. Being assertive is good. Just don't ride roughshod over anyone. The full moon in Aries is a super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there's excitement about what may lie ahead, but tempers are likely to flare with rash comments or decisions. No matter when you pull this card, it signals that the situation has just or is about to come to a peak, perhaps in a rather heated way. There could be a price to pay if you've been too competitive or too blunt. Interesting. Very interesting. So this thing about like fiery climax, I think it is sort of fascinating to hold next to this one because it's saying go forth, you know, and watch your tendency to be too forceful. This is definitely feeling right for me. Bay and I are moving so many things forward, and every step of the way I'm like, oh, am I being too overbearing and like getting this moved, you know, and kind of wanting to be more sensitive, but also wanting to be, you know, a partner in like getting things done. But what I also love about it is it's kind of reinforcing this idea that you can move things forward and be receptive and sensitive, and also that kindness, being kind and gentle is often a more expedient path to creating what we really want. We think force is the way to go, but usually it's the gentleness that allows for us to swim nicely downstream. Well, that's pretty cool. Thanks, Moonology. Okay, so I'm thinking that as kind of like action steps from here, let's check in with Wisdom of Avalon. So good. I'm a little curious about this because of the Lady of the Lake is on the front here, and I feel like we're getting a lot of like feminine, watery energy today. Plus, I just told you all that me and Laura were the ladies of the lake yesterday, so all right, let's see what happens here. I'm so excited that I just told you all about those songs that I love so much. It's funny playing with a band of people because I feel like I'm kind of trying to walk a line between wanting to be forthcoming with what I would enjoy, because how else can people make your dreams come true if you don't tell them what they are? And also not wanting to be too overbearing and being like, let's do all the things I want to do. Because I'd like to do what everybody wants to do. Okay, let's see. And I also have a really strong desire with the band to kind of experiment and grow and like see what I can do vocally, like learn different styles, like get to know other people's music. Like I'd really just like to kind of grow my skill and also grow as a collaborator. And so I don't want to only do my stuff because I'd love to learn from the process of doing other people's music. Okay, let's see. It's over here. They're all kind of over here today. Oh, shoot, I got 2 as well. Letting Go is 44. And The Novice, number 5. Wow. Look at this, letting go. Look at the waterfall. It's a sacred journey marker, so that's a kind of change in context. And then The Novice is a messenger. I'm loving this. All right, let's look first at letting go. 44, which adds up to an 8, which of course, as you all know, is my magical number. Letting go. Okay, let's see. Releasing attachments, expectations, and desires yet unfulfilled. These are some of the aspects of this card. When you receive this marker on your path, you're required to relinquish control and allow the mystery to act as she will, to weave life together as it is meant to be, according to the laws of the cosmos. You cannot force something to come or to remain if its true place is elsewhere. Remember that all that is yours can never be taken away. Allowing is the key to this marker, for what is yours will come to you. The same applies to the past. This is the time to let go of old hurts, resentments, and unresolved anger, for they're no longer welcome burdens on the path ahead. Old and outmoded ideas about life, how you see others, who you are based on who you were, these must also be left behind. Then you can move forward unencumbered, stepping into the magic of the new present that leads into the best possible future. Wow. So you can see like how beautiful the water is just falling over the rocks. It's moving through, right? Like it's moving on. My friend Michelle Aiken said to me once, I was panicking about not getting an opportunity. And she was like, what is for you will never pass you. I feel like I say this on this channel all the time. What is for you will never pass you. And so in the process, it almost turns us into a little bit of a sieve where we have to let things move through. And some things will move and go, and some things will stay. And the only way to find out what those things are is to allow and like to actually participate in life and allow for things to move through us. And the other part of this too, that allowing goes right back to the key messages in this reading so far about actually being receptive and being open to not only signs, but being open to things going, because that friction is what shows us what is for us and what's not. And if you feel like you're forcing something, it's probably just not quite the right thing. You know, that's, I think, a lesson that is hard for a lot of us to learn, especially in aspects of partnerships, money, fame. Like, I think in that nexus of those 3 things, sometimes it can be really hard to just accept like, oh, this isn't it for me. That's okay. Something else is. A lot of us really want to have, if we're letting something go, we want to have the next thing. It doesn't always work like that. So let's talk about the novice. Number 5, novice. The novice. Innocence, beginner, ignorance, new skill without practice, unstable curiosity. Innocence, naivete, foolishness, early knowledge not yet integrated, The ability to see the world untainted and learning ability. These are aspects of the novice as she appears in your life. The novice is reminding you to be teachable and humble. If you don't know something, don't pretend that you do. Chances are that you'll make an error that may cost you more than you wish to pay. New information is coming, and this is the time to be open to learning and expanding. The novice also reminds you to be like a child and remember the wonder and awe you once had for the world around you when discovering magic was an essential part of everyday experience. I'm going to read that again. The novice also reminds you to be like a child and remember the wonder and awe you once had for the world around you when discovering magic was an essential part of everyday experience. The novice reminds you that you need to stop and ask yourself, what lesson must I learn here? The lesson is always mirrored in the experience in front of you. Dig deep into the workings of whatever situation you're inquiring about. You don't have to look far, for the answer is right in front of you. Sometimes it may feel as if you have 2 left feet and don't know how to dance, or that perhaps you're fumbling in the dark and fear that you may be left behind. It's all right to be in the not knowing. This is the place where new understanding takes time to integrate. There's a little more. This is so nice. Okay. Be gentle with yourself. The greatest gift the novice reminds you of is that you're always at the beginning of some area in your life. You're always at the beginning of some area in your life. Patience and slow movement is required when the novice appears. Before moving forward, perhaps you need to... Let me try that again. Perhaps you need time to journal your thoughts and receive clarity about what the mystery invites you to learn. And remember, in Wisdom of Avalon Oracle, mystery has capital M. Okay, mystery is a force. Then rejoice, the novice of Avalon is on a path to higher knowledge and abundant manifestation and doesn't stay a novice for long. Wow. So yet again, we're having that invitation to slow so that we can receive, so that we can reflect. And through the receiving and the reflecting, we're going to create, but not through forcing and through letting go of what really isn't for us anymore. Oh, that's so great. That's so cool. Well, I hope that this was helpful and that you all have some tried and tested reflective practices that serve you during these kind of like dark of the moon periods. If you need some to play with, on my channel, I have a number of different journal with me videos. You can kind of click through and see if any of them are calling to you. And I also want to take a second and just plug the practice of Yoga Nidra as a way to calm your system. Those aren't my videos, but if you just Google Yoga Nidra, it's a really wonderful practice to kind of just calm your system down and become more receptive and become more comfortable in receptive mode, because I think that is a practice that we all would benefit from embracing. Couple other things. If you're watching this in August of 2025, I don't know when this will find you, but if you're watching it at the time that I'm recording it, the first ever West of Wonderland retreat is happening in October. It's called Falling In, as in falling in INN, like it's our in of fall. And we've got just a couple of spaces left. It's going to be really lovely. Very like reflection, autumn focused women's retreat. So if you'd like to come, give me a shout. And yeah, it's going to be cool. All right. Well, take really good care. Please leave me a comment. I love hearing from you all about what you get from these and what you're working on. And if you want to listen to my sad moon songs and then tell me that you liked them too, I'll be your friend forever. All right. I'll see you later.